Hello, I'm Ryan and welcome to my second van build. This is episode 1 of my van build, and today I'm going to give you my tips on how to find the right van for you. I previously owned a micro camper and now I've moved on to a short wheelbase Mercedes Sprinter, so I'm going to share all the experience that I've gained over the last 3 years. The first thing you need to consider is cost. That will determine what type of van you will get, what size of van, and also what brand. The next thing you need to consider is space. Now, how much can you comfortably live in? I used to live in a micro camper on my own and that did me perfect, but now I've moved on to a slightly bigger Mercedes Sprinter so I can consider luxuries like toilets and showers. That being said, it's not just about sleeping arrangement, it's also about how many passengers will be travelling with you, so you need to consider how many seats you have in a vehicle. Van wheelbase sizes are categorised as short wheelbase, medium wheelbase, long wheelbase and extra long wheelbase. Each wheelbase category affects the van's length, cargo space and manoeuvrability. Short wheelbases can fit in most parking bays but compromise on space. Medium wheelbases can be slightly bigger than bay parking but are more spacious inside. Long wheelbases have excellent interior space but compromise massively on manoeuvrability. Extra large wheelbases are extremely large spaces for luxury living but extremely difficult for manoeuvring and will cost more on fuel. And there are also standard or high top roof options. Some car park height restrictions start as low as 1.9 metres but most sit at 2.1 metres. Personally, if your van is above 2.1 metres height, then it doesn't really matter how much taller you go. Now, the other question you might have is whether to buy a car or a van. You need to consider whether the cost is right for you. So things might include car insurance, the running cost of the vehicle, and also whether you're comfortable driving a van. When you come to insulate it in a car, you will have issues of it being too cold in the winter or too hot in the summer due to the amount of windows that it has, versus having a van where you will need to cut out windows and include ventilation for your van build. Once you've found the van you like, here's a few things you need to check when you go and view it. Other things to consider are: check the government website for MOT vehicle history, check the dashboard for any warning lights. If you have an OBD2 reader, you could scan the vehicle with the seller's permission. They may be reluctant to do so, but most importantly, take it for a test drive and see how it feels. After you've made your purchase, there are a few things you need to do before your conversion. The first thing is making sure it's mechanically sound and safe to drive. The next thing I would do, and arguably the first thing, is give it a good clean. You don't know who's been in here before and you want it to feel like your own, so scrub it down. If you are using this as your daily driver, then upgrading the stereo system will make it so much more fun to drive. And then the last thing I would do is tackle any rust. You don't want any of that creeping back through once your van is already built, otherwise it's going to be harder to get to some of the areas. Hopefully that answers all the questions you have in buying your first van, but if there are any other questions that I've missed, please ask them in the comments or send me a DM. Episode 2, I will be starting on my bodywork. This will include rust repairs and getting the windows and ventilation installed. Thanks again for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.